Hello and welcome. I'm happy to share that it is Treasure Chest Tuesday, and the treasure chest of you is being opened once again. Today, our theme is, what do you truly want? What do you truly want? So my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies, is The Notebook. Yes, love and romance. And my favorite line from that movie is when Noah, who is Ryan Gosling, says to Allie, who is Rachel McAdams, if you remember that, what do you truly want? What do you want? What do you want? I sound a little like him, but not really. Not what does he want, not what do he want. It was a love triangle, of course. But what do you really want? So that seems to be coming up this week. And it's so important to ask ourselves what we truly want, especially when we are in relationship to others. We get so entangled with others. What seems to be really good reasons of giving, contribution, sharing, all of that seems really, really valuable. And of course, that's what we would do, right? When we're with others. But we're missing what we truly want, and that is not selfish. That is not selfish. Let me explain that to you. I'm going to give you some examples from sessions I did just this week that have that theme running through them. I was like, what's up? We got to talk about this. So, what do you truly want relates to what your heart and soul truly wants. Because if you just say emotionally what you truly want, I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to feel good. I want to feel good, but I want everybody else to feel good too, right? And that's where we get in overwhelm and stressed out, because we're working so hard unconsciously sometimes, even though we say we don't watch the news, we're unconsciously going, oh my gosh, not just peace, oh my gosh, this person is suffering. And we're thinking about our neighbor or our friend or our spouse or our family member. Oh my God, they are so suffering. And it eats on us. And we just feel like our heart constricts all the time. And that's exhausting. When your heart is filled up with that feeling of their suffering, and I can't do anything about it, or they're suffering, and it hurts my heart, you get exhausted, you get stressed out, you get overwhelmed. It doesn't mean we stop being compassionate and understanding that another person is in pain physically, emotionally, in whatever way. We're compassionate, but we don't carry it as though it is ours, like a burden. And we can't be joyful until we feel that everyone or somebody that's with us in our life is not suffering. There will always be people suffering. If it's not you, them, right? Always. So what do you truly want? And how can you receive that without getting entangled and enmeshed with everyone else and their suffering? What will happen is when you don't know how to deal with your own physical, emotional pain, you jump out of your body to help another, because that's easier. I don't know what to do here. I feel hopeless and helpless and powerless. I can't change this, but at least I can help change them. And it will make you feel a little uplifted to help them. But it doesn't help you. If it doesn't, it's not giving you what you truly want. Again, it's not selfish. It's called self-respect and owning what you truly want, which will be the energy of wholeness, completeness, love, belonging to the larger sense of yourself. When that is intact more, then you can offer to another from that vibrational place of the energy of joy and love and wholeness. And then you're naturally bringing that wholeness, that light, into whatever you're connected to. So if you have what you truly want, you're actually able to create that vibration, and it emanates to the people you're connected to. Let me give you my examples of even deeper places where we run into trouble and we don't really look at what we're wanting. Okay, first example, I was working with a man who was dealing with feeling the energy of his sister in him all the time, and it felt very heavy. So he said, how do I get rid of that? And I said, well, it's not a matter of just getting rid of it, because it'll come right back in. The minute you are feeling as though you're not whole and complete in yourself. But we needed to look at what was the root of what created that in the first place. So growing up, for instance, and this goes way back to a soul challenge, but I'm going to talk about the family dynamic here. Growing up, parents were not available. One was abusive, one was very disturbed. So his sister was what he relied on. That was where the love and the sense of belonging came from. So you could say, well, they were very independent, but he was always fixated on, is she okay? Is she okay? Is she okay? Now that sounded like a great big brother thing to do, didn't it? But every time he's going, is she okay? He's jumping out of himself to take care of her, because in that case, he jumps out of himself to take care of her, so he knows that love is there for him. That was his source of love, was her being okay. Now, that means very dependent on this person being okay and having the love that they need, which would come from him. So this cycle goes on and on and on. You wonder why he had her energy in him all the time. It was a subconscious need to have her with him to know love. Oops, okay? We do this all the time, don't we? What we created was his sanctuary for love within himself. We did a surrogate session with his sister, gave her what she needed, which I won't go into because I don't have permission to talk about her, to give her what she needed so she could have that sense of love and belonging. And he could start to go, okay, I am whole. I am in my sanctuary for love. And I see her whole. I feel her whole. And in her sanctuary of love, whatever that looked like for her in that situation, and he can connect to her from that higher wisdom perspective. So he's not constantly taking her in to feel his love and sense of belonging. And she is not depending on him for her sense of love and belonging. She could have her own space. He could have his own space of love. See how that works? What he truly wanted was that sense of love and belonging and self-respect. That sense of, I respect what's important to me. That's what I truly want, is that. And I'm not going to keep working on trying to get it from her. Okay, another example. A mother-daughter. I know a lot about that one, and there were two of them actually, but they went two different ways. One was a mother who said to me, I can't get on with certain parts of my life because she needs me so much. But she, the daughter, also wants to get on with her life. What's holding us back? Again, this codependent thing was that feeling of, and it was a little different, obviously, that feeling of the mother was not free to be her wild, free self because she had this daughter that was constantly pulling her into her needs. But again, when we did a surrogate with the daughter said, I want to be wild and free. In her soul, she said, I want to be wild and free. So when the mother says, I want to be wild and free, and that is the key to my wholeness, I'm going to respect that and be able to hold that, knowing that my daughter also wants that. I'm going to uplift and inspire that in her. So instead of seeing her as suffering, and I'm suffering and we're caught both in this suffering, I don't get to be free, my daughter is suffering because she's not whole, and it just becomes a mess. I am free, holding that at a soul level, how free I am, that is a soul level connection, and seeing my daughter as whole and free, and encouraging that in her will help her to be all she needs to be, versus her coming to mom all the time going, I need you, because I can't get to that place in myself of being free to create my life. You're encouraging that in her because you see her free and you know you are free. And then you can have whole new conversations about that with her. Okay, another one was a woman who felt confined by her mother and her mother's lack of love. I wish my mother, why doesn't my mother love me? And this is a grown woman in her 50s. I've seen this so often where somebody's still looking for love from their mother who is in their 70s, 80s, whatever that is, looking for that love as the unconditional love they're looking for. You're not going to get it from anybody, but that's this human part of us that says, well, they have the key and I need it. And I feel impacted, the daughter felt impacted by this mother's negativity. And it's because she was still looking for love from her mother in the wrong way. She needs to have her own sense of self-respect and getting the love she needs from her soul, from her guides, from her own universe of you, which is what I help people do all the time. Give you your own sanctuary of love and let you feel that. So you're not looking for it from another. You see how that works? Okay. Session number 4 was somebody having difficulty with giving herself away to other people because those other people have needs. It happens all the time. We might call that people pleasing, just as a common term. The fact was, this person, every time you give yourself away, say for instance, you're listening endlessly to a friend or somebody you know at work, listening to her troubles all the time, whoa, she's been jumping, this client of mine was jumping out of her skin to help this other person, abandoning herself, being very disrespectful of her to be able to try to fill this other person's needs. And she wondered why she felt crummy at the end of the day, exhausted. Healers do this all the time. I'm going to fill this other person's needs. I'll feel better for a moment, but I have jumped out of myself and my skin to do that. Not taking care of this here, this me here, and this larger sense of who I am and what I truly want, which is joy and love and the sense of belonging to all that is. And yes, community in life. We give ourselves up to give someone else joy, or we think, oh my gosh, I can't be joyful because that other person is suffering. So let's raise that person up, right? I'm going to give them everything I've got so they'll be joyful. Now I felt like I've contributed and there's less suffering in the world, and now I can be joyful. For a moment maybe, right? A little high from helping another person. What about coming from that place of joy all the time, right? That's how you help another person, is to be in that place of joy, to bring that vibration to them. I don't mean not being compassionate when a person is suffering. We know how to do compassion. We know how to do understanding. But then to know that we can hold the joy and not abandon ourselves, be respectful of what we truly want, which is we want to help them to know joy on earth. How about just knowing joy on earth and then seeing them knowing in our heart that they can know joy too. And we want that for them because we feel that is true for them. We know that to be true for them, and we see them in that light. You see how that works? Isn't that fantastic? To be able to come to a place where you can own your own sanctuary for love, belonging to the all that is, and the joy that is yours, and that doesn't take anything from anybody else. It gives you the wholeness of you, and then you are offering yourself from the wholeness of you, and the other person can choose more wholeness in their life if they want. You hold that for you. They get to make that choice. It's always a choice for another, instead of depending on you and you depending on them. Okay, here is the day we are in, where we are bold enough to not just take care of ourselves in a soothing kind of way, but really be respectful of knowing what we truly want and creating that, and knowing that's what offers the greatest gift to the world. So may this gift of these wonderful examples give you a sense that it is what you truly want, to know joy and love, and it's not selfish to do so. Blessings to your love, your sense of belonging to the unified field of creation, and your joy. May you know it in spades and bring this world to that knowing that it can have it as well. So much love to you, and yes, I will remind you that you will bring joy to the hearts of many if you subscribe to this channel. Why? Because every time I put something out, it's an energy, and it tells YouTube that this energy is important in the world, and therefore it becomes a greater light in the world, what we value. So it's yet another way for you to bring more light into the world. Great to be with you always. May what you truly, truly want be known vibrantly and in joy.